Hold on. Okay, now I'm ready. All right, so we all know that the A7S III is a great video camera, amazing in low light, beautiful color signs, S-Log3s, S-Cinetone, like real no complaints for me there. But does it hold up as a photography camera in 2021? This video is sponsored by my good friends from the Professional Photographers of America, or the PPA. Hello? What are you doing? Camera? Of course it's me, camera. What are you doing? What do you mean? You put me on the edge of a shelf. Like, I'm looking down, it's like 1,000 feet. I could fall off and die. Well, it's not 1,000 feet, it's more like 4 feet. And if I fall off and die, you won't have a camera anymore to do your YouTube thing. Make sure to like and subscribe. Don't worry about it. It's covered. What do you mean covered? I've got camera equipment insurance with the PPA. Oh. I've got up to $15,000 of equipment coverage, which is pretty cool, but the PPA actually made their equipment insurance program a lot better. For equipment repairs, it's only a $50 flat deductible, and for equipment replacement, it's a flat deductible of only $350. That's really cool. Not only that, but you have access to other benefits like hard drive recovery services, online educational content with topics like brand messaging and entrepreneurship, and even access to use custom contract templates with clients. And if you click on my link in the description below, you can get $25 off your membership when you sign up. I don't use a computer, I'm a camera. So don't worry about falling off and breaking to 1,000 pieces, you're totally covered. You just have to worry about being replaced by my other camera. Wait, what? Huge thanks to the PPA for sponsoring this video, and now let's talk about the A7S III. All right, so it's been about almost exactly a year since I've had the A7S III. Yeah, I got it last July 2020. Oh, 2020. You were quite a year. But I've been using that camera for about a year now, and I still freaking love it. Now, I wouldn't necessarily call the A7S III as a true hybrid camera. I mean, it focuses more on the video side of things, which is awesome, but cameras like the Sony Alpha 1, the A7 III, or even the A7C, I feel are more true hybrid cameras because they handle video and photography equally well. With the A7S III, I mean, you're dealing with 12 megapixel photos. And even though that camera can only shoot 12 megapixel photos, that is still totally okay, especially if those photos are for the web or even social media. Now, if you're a wedding photographer, then maybe the A7S III is not a good enough camera for photography, especially if you have to make prints. I mean, I've seen other YouTubers take photos with the A7S III and make prints out of them, and they say that they look pretty good. But obviously, if your camera is capable of shooting higher megapixels, then that tends to produce better quality prints. All right, so now we're gonna take a look at some photos that I shot with the A7S III, starting with this photo right here. This was shot using the 16-35G master lens, and it looks sharp. I mean, it looks great. I mean, I don't, but the photo overall looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and go close, get some details in my eyes. Got the eyelashes, the eyebrows, the wrinkles. Oh, the wrinkles. But this was shot with a 12 megapixel camera. Go up over here in the hair, like you see some details in the hair, and overall it looks really good. And if you post this image online, the photo would totally be fine, and people probably wouldn't even know that this photo was shot with a 12 megapixel camera. All right, let's move on to the next photo. Ah, here we go, a much better photo. Yeah, this was shot with the A7S III and the 24-70G master lens, and it's a beautiful photo. I mean, I'm biased because it's my daughter, but I love the lighting. I just love the way it looks. And again, when looking at this photo, you wouldn't think, oh, this was shot with a 12 megapixel camera. And I don't think people think like that anyway. I mean, usually when people critique a photo, it's usually with the lighting or the composition and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I love this photo, and this was shot with the A7S III. All right, moving on, we have a couple of product photography. Here is the Wonder Provoke light backpack, and yeah, it looks really good. Tonal wise, it looks really nice. Colors look great. There's a nice natural roll off in the highlights, and even if you zoom in on the backpack, you see some dust and particles, stuff that were on the backpack. And this is me zooming in on a 12 megapixel photo. This photo was shot with the 16-35G master lens, and overall the image looks really great, really perfect for a thumbnail. In fact, did I use this photo for a thumbnail? I don't know. Huh, I don't think I did. I probably should have. Anyway, moving on to the next photo, another thumbnail that I shot. This time I'm actually using a sharper lens. This is the Sony 50mm 1.2, and shooting at f1.2, man, really blurs out the background. I mean, look at this wall over here. I was probably like about maybe 2 feet away from the wall, and it's all blurred out, looks really good. The photos look really sharp. I mean, look at that iPhone. So good, so sharp and so good. And having that said, having a really sharp lens like the 50mm 1.2 does make your photos look sharper because it's a really, really sharp lens.
lens. Like moving on to this photo over here of my daughter, like that was shot with the A7S III and the 50mm 1.2, and that bokeh in the background is just so good. Like going into the eyes, like, oh, look how sharp that is. It's like I took this photo with a higher end camera like the A7R III or A7R4, and so yeah, it just kind of proves my point that having a high quality lens can result in a sharp and good looking image. Moving on to this photo over here, also shot with a 50mm 1.2 lens, like that bokeh in the background looks really nice. Zoom in over here, my son, that's super sharp. It really does feel like I shot this with a 24 megapixel camera or more. It looks really, really good, but I shot this with the A7S III. Then moving on to the next photo, that's also shot with the 50mm 1.2, and let's just zoom in on the bricks. And here you see all the details in the bricks, looks really sharp. And yeah, again, it doesn't seem like I shot this with a 12 megapixel camera. Looks really nice. And of course, the A7S III can also shoot astrophotography. This was shot using the 16 and 35G master lens, and look at it, just looks really, really cool. With this image, there is a bit of noise, especially over here, but again, if I put this image online, most people probably wouldn't even notice. But yeah, there you go, A7S III. Fantastic camera for photography. Now, if you're still not happy with the 12 megapixel photos, there is a way to enhance that through Lightroom or Photoshop. There's this new little feature called Super Resolution, which pretty much doubles the resolution of any photo. So in theory, you get 4 times the megapixels with your photos taken on the A7S III. Now, I tested out Super Resolution in Photoshop and in Lightroom, and it's okay, if I'm being honest. Like, it does produce a sharper image for sure, but it's not like significantly different. It's still Adobe's first go at it, and so maybe the second iteration might be better. But if you do want to sharpen your photos just a bit, then the Super Resolution does help a bit. But like every camera, there are pros and cons. Like, there are so many things I love about the A7S III for video and photos, and there are a lot of things I don't like about the camera for video and photos. But for someone like me that just wants to have a camera to do both video and photos, I think the A7S III is great. I know I said it's not a true hybrid camera, and if I had the money, I'd probably get the Alpha 1. But since using this camera every single day for a whole year, I still think the A7S III is a great photography camera. You may agree, you may disagree. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. Oh, the comments. Sometimes the comments are more entertaining than the video. And so if you want some entertainment, then check out the comments below. All right, video 2 done. I gotta film one more video today, and so I just gotta keep myself hydrated. All right, guys, I'm out, but let me know what you think of the Sony A7S III. Do you think it still holds up as a photography camera, or are you holding out for a potential camera that Sony might release one day, like the A7 IV? I'm actually holding out on that camera, if it ever holds out. I mean, I might get the A7C just because it fits really well in my backpack, but I don't know. I like the little viewfinder. It's kind of nice. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.